Let's start over. Yeah, the last stream, I had told you I just woke up and you were wondering why I freaked out and ran out the hallway to pick something off the floor. Let's just say that Colorado, we had some extra of certain products that were served at last night's gala that the dog would not have had a good time if he had gotten into. So I had to run and go retrieve that. My bad for putting that on the floor. Not my sort of thing, and it definitely would not have been the dog sort of thing, but we had to bring home extra supplies from convention, and that little dog would not have had a good time. He'd have been okay, but he would not have been having a good time. So, Skippy, you should be glad that I got that from you. I would have risked gotten bit for that. Okay. Oh, yes. Hello. Because I remind you of your mother. Somebody else said that to me. No, somebody said to me at the convention, oh, I didn't realize what times changed. I hope my computer clock is right. Hold on. Is that why I feel like I didn't sleep enough? Oh, yeah, spring forward, right? Okay, no wonder I felt like the platform. So today is National Platform Committee meeting. I'll be sticking the notice on my public figure page. If you would like to come, please do. We do have public comment. So this will not be a long stream. And it's another reason why I'm doing it now. Then I'm going to get ready for platform committee meeting. I've got a lot of cleanup work to do since the LPCO convention. I've got LPCO convention notes and things like that. But I figured y'all count on me for the convention updates. So I wanted to do that before the platform committee meeting. I, hallelujah, am no longer on the LPCO board. It's not that I didn't enjoy being on the LPCO board. It's just a responsibility I didn't need. I've got enough to do. I want to concentrate on my secretary run, and I also want to concentrate on my local county a bit more rather than the state party quite so much. So it's pretty much a brand new board with the exception of Wayne. And Matthew Lucas says complete MISA sweep on delegates yesterday, 62 across 3 states. Yeah, Colorado, we had 35 delegates. They're all either Mises or Mises friendly. But I think they would all consider themselves Mises, if I'm remembering everyone correctly. And we elected 10 alternates. And I think of the alternates, 7 are either Mises or Mises friendly. And the other 3, I don't know. One of them, I think, is Mises hostile, but a great activist. Like all the delegates were really great activists. So I think we did well. Now that I'm not on the board, I am sure that there's going to be disagreements made that I don't agree with. I know people come to me for the tea and things like that, but someone else will need to cover that in my own state. I'm not going to be sitting here dishing dirt. Not that I try to do that on anybody, to be honest with you, but it's going to be interesting to see a brand new board. And just watching from the outside, and I'm sure there will be things I agree with and things I don't agree with. So we'll see the new board meeting tomorrow. But what I know people wanted me to talk about, that I'm going to talk about very briefly. I might do another video on it later, that this will probably be the next Colorado controversy, I guess people want to say. I don't think the people involved have realized yet the import of something that happened yesterday. Everyone knows there was a brouhaha, and it was silly in my opinion, of a video that had gotten posted on the LPCO social media account that our former communications director, he resigned over it. I didn't believe he should have resigned over it, but he did. posted that wasn't an LPCO video. It was a private training meeting between multiple states that was just friends. It was nothing official. It got posted. Some people thought they had some dirt that they heard in that video. There wasn't. There wasn't. What is going around as being said is not at all accurate as to what was said in context of what was said. I don't have consent to talk personally more about what was yeah, Chuck, I love brouhaha too, about what was said. Um I am not the type of person who violates private conversations or executive session or secret lists unless there is corruption. And when people say this was a private conversation and that's the way it's going to remain, I respect that. So this private conversation should never have been posted to the LPCO's official account. It was a big screw up by our communications director, but people screw up. But apparently somebody thought somebody they took a joke way too literally and are going around saying whatever. So what happened when the video came down is one of our Colorado members, a great activist, had decided that she was going to appeal to our judicial committee to force the board to put this video back up to use as some kind of political weaponry, not against me. This for once, this has very little to do with me. I was at the meeting. I was at the informal meeting, which is how I know exactly what was said and what the meeting was. But it isn't me they think they have political dirt on, because pretty much anything I say everywhere. Like if you want to find something that I said that is shocking, I've said it publicly. You don't need to try to find it in some stupid meeting. But the thing is, the board, our judicial committee has the same jurisdiction as the National Judicial Committee, which is decisions of the board. The board made no decision to post this. The board made no decision to pull it down. This was a private act of our former communications director. But our judicial committee decided in some weird ass interpretation that this was a decision of the board, even though there was no vote. There was absolutely nothing that made it a decision of the board. Most of the board didn't even know any of this happened until it was over. So the convention yesterday issued an official interpretation of our bylaws via resolution that said that the judicial committee's jurisdiction over quote unquote decisions of the board is limited to decisions that were made by the actual board at a properly called meeting, either a regular or a special meeting. And it was either a main motion that was either passed or that was either disposed of permanently or temporarily by at least a majority vote. That is what a decision of the board is. Whether or not, and I'm torn on the whole thing, to be honest with you, because I think inaction of the LNC is a type of decision, but parliamentary wise, it's not a type of decision. It might be incompetence, it might be reason to put in a different board, but it's not a decision. You know, with all due respect to Rush, even though I do agree with the lyrics, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. That's not the sort of decision that puts something under the decision of a judicial committee. So I don't think Colorado's judicial committee yesterday has yet realized what that convention resolution means. But what that convention resolution means is until there's an actual motion by the actual Colorado board with an actual vote that either permanently or temporarily disposes of a main motion with at least a majority vote, they have no jurisdiction over the screw up of our former communications director. Now, maybe the future board will do a motion on this. I don't know. I'm not part of that board anymore. But as of right now, this alleged hearing on the 21st was mooted by the convention by saying, darlings, you don't have jurisdiction yet. You may have jurisdiction in the future, but you don't have jurisdiction yet because there has not yet been a decision of the board. I'd be very curious, Chuck, as to your opinion on that interpretation of decision of the board. I have a feeling you would agree with that. Can you imagine getting appealed to nationally every time the LNC just decided not to do something, like without a vote? Just hell, I could think of 30 things I could appeal, and it would be very convenient for me because I think they're incompetent. But I also don't think that the like if we're going to have a board that's comprised of the entirety of the membership, then let's set up an organization that can run that way. But we don't right now have an organization that run that way. While we are bottom up, we have um, appeal rights and we have, certain authorities that are reserved for the bottom. The fact is there still are boards that have to make decisions before you can appeal them. And I didn't always agree with this, but I spent a while thinking about it and reading through Roberts, and Roberts actually does define what a decision of the board is. So I'm sure all hell's going to break loose here in Colorado once RJC figures out that the convention just took away their little toy that they had, that they might get to play with again once the board makes a decision, or if the board makes a decision. But right now, sorry, Charlie, that video is not going anywhere. It's the private property of people who had a private conversation. And if you want to think there was some smoking gun in that conversation, go ahead. Think that. I was there. There wasn't. I'm not going to violate the privacy of people by repeating a private conversation when there was no corruption. So you can be mad at me for that or not. Or you can trust my past history that whether you agree with me or not, I at least believe there's no there. Like it's just like dumb, like completely dumb. And let me give you an example. There was a flyer that was passed out about me at the 2020 convention in Orlando, claiming that I had threatened to use the state to sue somebody under anti-discrimination law. Anyone who believed that flyer needs like a funny bone implanted, because it was so obviously a joke. It wasn't even funny. So let me tell you what happened that led to that flyer. We had a gentleman in Colorado who kept using the Pepe meme on official, or at least in official groups, and he was a board member at the time. And I asked him to stop associating the Pepe memes with the Libertarian Party of Colorado. I said, although I get the joke, a frog can't be a Nazi. The fact is, the normies think Pepe is associated with the alt-right. So please stop doing that on official LPCO channels. I don't care what you do on your personal page. It's bothering me that the LPCO was being associated with the alt-right. And this person threatened me to said, you just called me alt-right, which I didn't, because he wasn't. I understand it was done ironically. He wasn't alt-right. I was concerned about the perception of other people. But he said, you just called me alt-right, and I'm an American Indian, and I'm a protected class, and I'm going to sue you for going after an American Indian. And what I said to this person, or Native American, I suppose is the proper phrase. What I said to this person was, my federally protected vagina trumps your federally protected Native American status. It was a joke. I obviously was never going to be filing you insulted my vagina lawsuit in federal court. But some people who have no sense of humor went around National Convention last year saying I threatened to sue people over my vagina. Okay, now I thought that was hilarious. So if anyone believes that anyone literally said that national funds were going to be used to deliver therapy sessions to people in the party, you have zero sense of humor. You have zero sense of humor, and maybe you need to pay for your own therapy. There isn't enough therapy money. There isn't enough money in this party to pay for all of our therapy. There isn't enough money in this party to pay for Jackie Perry's therapy all by itself. So if you took a joke that perhaps National Party money should be best used to give National Party members therapy, if you took that seriously and didn't realize that that was a joke, there is something wrong with you. And perhaps you should consider therapy, but pay for it yourself because there isn't enough money and the National Party treasury to pay for your therapy. Anybody who is gullible enough to believe that anything like that would have ever been said, seriously, please don't vote. Don't vote because you don't have an ounce of logic in your head. Okay? Now that's been set straight, please. And Chuck says on Twitch, the Pepe meme isn't associated with the alt-right. It's pretty pervasive. I don't know if it still is. I haven't seen Pepe in years. Remember, this was right before the 2020 convention. This is what, like, right around the time, maybe 2019. And Pepe was really associated with the normies, with the alt-right. I don't even think the alt-right exists anymore. Anyone who even still brings up the alt-right today, I'm like, hello, the 2010s are calling and they want you back. Like, I don't even think there is an alt-right. DGel, there is no good shit. The Colorado convention basically went very smoothly. There was very little drama. That was about it. It was a clean Mises sweep. We'll see how that goes. I agree with the Mises Caucus on most things. I don't agree on everything. I don't agree with myself on everything. I'm not going to agree with everybody on everything, but I'm very happy with the results. We had very qualified people step up for every single race, including secretary, which is why I didn't rerun, which was a decision I wanted to make. So we'll see how it goes. I'll still be attending board meetings. I'll still, be giving my opinion. I'm sure I won't agree with every decision. And I'm going to be working on rebuilding my local party. We kind of fell apart here in Douglas County. So I want to concentrate more locally. And disappointingly, it looks like we're not going to be petitioning for RCV this year. That has nothing to do with the Libertarian Party. That was another group I was involved with. And, limited dollars, limited volunteer hours. So that's probably going to get put up. Now, I'm sorry, I missed who said it. Hector, I believe, asked me about my local office race. I won't be starting that till August. I have to petition onto the ballot. It's only 25 signatures. It's for town council. So you can't officially start running. I mean, you can start your unofficial exploratory committees and all of that ahead of time, but I can't officially start my race till August, but I am running for Castle Rock Town Council. So District 5, I believe, but I just woke up, but I'm fairly positive it's District 5. So yeah, that's it. That's probably all I'm going to be saying on the Colorado Convention, unless people have additional questions in the future. It was an experiment with a one-day convention. People were very worried that we wouldn't be able to do everything in one day or that we wouldn't be able to fundraise enough in one day. In the past, our Colorado conventions have been 3-day extravaganzas, and I've been a very vocal opponent of that because we've spent like $24,000 on our conventions, and I don't think that is necessary every year. Maybe on presidential election years, okay, I get it. But every single year, no. So we spent under $10,000 on this convention, and most of that was because we brought in Dave Smith as a draw, and that event was packed, and we raised a lot of money at that event. If we didn't bring in a speaker, we would have done this convention for probably under $4,000. We got the venue for free. It was from a libertarian who had this old converted barn that was a wedding venue. So I'm very curious to see how much we raised, but we completely paid for the convention solely through ticket sales, and we didn't make profit on ticket sales. I don't believe in making profit on convention ticket sales. I know I'm an outlier there, but the board is required per our bylaws to put on a yearly convention, and I think ticket sales should just pay for the convention. You don't make money off of something you're required to do under your bylaws. That's just me. I know it, most people don't agree with me on that. So any money we made was from extra things, from selling, the extra Colorado goodie bags that I had to retrieve from the dog before the dog had a bad time, or auction items that were donated, or just voluntary donations. I believe, and we didn't have speakers or events that competed with convention business. We'll probably have another event later in the year that will be more like a educational event or an entertainment event. But I don't believe that you should be putting on events that compete with business. I know the National Party does this. I'd never agreed with it with the National Party either. Everyone's like, yeah, but people bring their families. Really, people are not bringing their families to hear some libertarian speaker in another room. All you are doing is pulling convention delegates away from convention business. And that's why during platform debate, the convention hall will be half full. So half of the delegation is deciding the platform for the rest of the party. And I don't agree with that. I'm going, I know now, on a National Party rant. And this isn't that I think anyone's doing anything wrong. This is just a difference of opinion, a mere difference of opinion. No one is right or wrong on this. This is just my objective opinion, which is probably why I will never be convention oversight chair nationally, because I'm a heretic when it comes to that. I was a heretic in Colorado, but I pulled it off. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We pulled off a one-day convention for about $10,000, and we finished early. Everyone was worried because it was scheduled from 8 to 5. You said, no way you're going to do all of your business. We did it by 3 o'clock. We were done. We were done, including balloting for national convention delegates, because our bylaws prohibit elections by slate. So we didn't even elect a slate of delegates. It wasn't like that. We did it by ballot, where you had to physically check off up to 35 names. Now, we did elect on the first round, but we counted all those ballots, I think, in an hour and 15 minutes while we did other business. I had a fantastic teller team. Got used to organizing teller teams from my experience at National. I know a lot of state secretaries don't have that experience. So, I had a little bit of an advantage there. Excuse me. When I wake up in the morning, I'm always very froggy. And we were done. All right. I'm going to go, guys. And thank you for the $2 for the Mountain Dew $2, DJelf. I probably will be streaming tonight, but it'll probably be history. I'm hoping to get back to doing that. And that there's very little LP drama. Every time I say that, though, I feel like I'm hexing myself. But I want to get back to doing what I love, which is history and secretarial stuff, like history in minutes. It's funny that I've become like this center of controversy in the party, excuse me, when my interests to most people are so freaking boring. My interests are shit that happened in the 70s and minutes. That's what I love. And bylaws. Like, I don't want to be the Libertarian Tea channel. I don't. That was kind of forced upon me, not forced in a bad, like coerced. I obviously did it freely, but circumstances forced that on me. I want to go back to my boring life. Oh, speaking of history, while we're here, I will be mailing this back to the gentleman in Florida who gave this to me at the Florida convention. I apologize. I haven't sent it back to you today. I will be scanning and sending it back to you today, because I had some back problems and had to undergo some outpatient things. But check out this folder. Oh my God, look at this old picture. and they're holding for a new Liberty book. Look at this. Look at those libertarians from the 70s. But there's some great things in this folder. Oh, check this out. So here's a lot of this has to do with Florida stuff, but there was something really interesting in here I wanted to show you guys, if I can find it. There's a lot of newspaper articles in here too. There's some articles from the Berglund campaign I've never seen before, like this one. I've never seen that before. And check this out, if any of you guys are from Louisiana. This is February 1981 newsletter from Louisiana. Another newsletter from Louisiana, because this gentleman used to be in Louisiana. But check this out. To me, this was the real gem. The 1979 Libertarian Party of Louisiana platform. We are really missing a lot of these old platforms. So when I find these, I get super excited. Yeah, I still have my wristband on from the convention. Judge me. And this was the official publication, but they figured out at some point, I think they made some typos, so they just handwrote them at the end. I kind of just love the old party. And so we have that. And I think that was the thing I was most excited about. But there was one other thing in here. Yeah, what's this? And now from our... Yeah, August 81, another little newsletter from Louisiana. So I'll be scanning this stuff in. But just, yeah. Now, you see how excited I get over that? I get way more excited over that kind of stuff than I do over the Libertarian Party kind of drama stuff. So Offer Nave says, you feel like Pennsylvania was the last stand after Colorado, New Jersey, West Virginia went smoothly. We still have Texas. Who knows? Who knows? I'm really over it. I just want Reno to come. I want to see what I'm going to be doing for the next couple years. All right, everyone. I hope you have an awesome day. I will be, an hour is our National Platform Committee meeting. I'm going right now to distribute the link on Facebook. I'll also put it, I don't want to put it on Twitter because private message me on Twitter if you want the registration link. Twitter just gets too, we don't want spammers. You do have to register. You want to know what? I think I can handle it. I'm going to stick the registration link also on Twitter. We do want members of the public. So if you would like to attend as an observer, the National Platform meeting in an hour, look for it on the Karen Ann Harlos, LNC Secretary in Exile page on Facebook or on Twitter. And I will see you then, and I'll see you maybe this evening. I do want to bust out these convention minutes really quickly so I can get rid of all my Colorado duties for the state. All right. Bye-bye, y'all. Love you.